hatboro-horsham students with some Delta blues here. Really very basic stuff, but if you work on this, you're just developing a vocabulary. These little techniques develop vocabulary, and you associate them with various locations on the guitar when you're playing in the key of E. A good place to start, and we're going to look at just adding a little more vocabulary. The first section I did little slides like that, and ended up closed up on this E note at string 2 fret 5 as the lesson advanced. So we're going to do the same thing here, which is just start off with a simple bend, a little bend on string 1 fret 3. Just take your either your middle finger or your ring finger, since it's just a little micro bend here. We're just bending that up. We're not bending this note at string 1 fret 3, which is a G note, which you have to start knowing what that is. That's a flat third in the scale of E. I'm not bending that up to the major third, which is at fret 4. That's the blues separator there. This flat third versus the regular third on in the major scale for a major chord, and this hovers and interplays the sound of that G against the sound of the G sharp here. When you're in the key of E, I always have to say in the key of E. That changes depending on the key that you're in. If you don't know that, please email me and get that safe in your straighten out in your head. It's the third because E, F sharp, G. That's the E. The second of the scale of E major is F sharp. The third is a G sharp, but we're using a flat third here, which is a G. That all goes back to that little 2-2-1, 2-2-1 separator. 2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. This is very important for those of you that have it. I apologize for having to go back on it, but I want to make sure everyone gets the nomenclature down. Otherwise you don't understand what the lesson is about. So in your case right here, you want to get this just a little bend. I'm going from a G with a little micro bend here up into some area between the G sharp, which is the third, and this flat third string, somewhere in between fret 3 and fret 4, and it's just that little bit of that blues sound that you've heard throughout your life. So that's the lesson. I'm going to start off there and just advance it a little with two other techniques or two other little riffs. But just to get the feel of this, just go 1, 2, 3, 4, release, and hit string 1 open. I got the little bend, 2, 3, 4, down to an A. And now I'm going to go down to A because we're at the A portion of this E, A, E, this E, A, and B progression. Blues, 12-bar blues progression that we've been using. So I'm going to start off, I'll go through this again. I'm going to start off with just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, do the same thing with A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the E. And now to the B. When I get to the B, which the B bass note here is the string 5 fret 2, I'm just putting my middle finger on that to get that B note. And you're going to put my ring finger down here at string 1 fret 2, that F sharp, and just give that a little curl too, which is, and then come back to the A, which is string 5 open, and then finish, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to start the E, 1, that's string 6 and 1 plucked together, and finish off with that little ending. So I go through that again, just so you get the sense of how this fits into the overall tapestry of sounds here, right? So you're going to go through 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, open, 2, 3, 4, back to the A, 2, 3, 4, back to the E, let it go. Now the B, and notice I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, string 5, fret 2, 3, 4, and I'm just gonna move this ring finger right down to string 1, fret 3, and play an A bass, string 5 open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, which is string 6 and 1 plucked together, and then the little chromatic run that everybody uses in blues. So I'll do that again with string 6 and string 1. I'm getting my bass up here, and I'm not worried about muting that or anything right now. That comes later. So we're just going to have this string 6, my bass, string 1. I'm going to just just push that up a little. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pluck them together, back to the A, and pluck them together, back to the E, B, A, now that should be simple for some of you that are really applying yourself to this. So let's look at it. Just a couple little riffs that you can get off that. How about just grabbing the second string somewhere around the D, which is the most logical place, and for that E in this, just sliding down to that E instead of having this open string 1 that you can't vibrato. It gives it a little more drama, a little more flair. So you would go to the A, back to the E, and then with the B, I'm not giving you anything hard on the B. I want to just keep that simple and get you just applying these other techniques on the main chords, which is the E and the A chords. They account for 11/12 of the chords that you're using on this. So, and I just bend that up just to give you, a little something to do on that B to the A. So, and let me just look at this this little bend here. We can take that up. I can take this up and then release it. Or I can take this up and keep this, just that little, off-kilter sound here, and never release it, just put my ring finger on string 2, fret 3, and do that little slide down to this E in a vibrato. So it would come out instead of this. See the difference between that, because I'm hitting this string 1 open, this E, and then coming back and vibratoing it. Here, on the other method, I'm going, and as this is still sounding, that little, that wavering sound of that bend, as that's sounding, I just put my middle finger on string 2, fret 3, and slide that down in vibrato to the E. Start thinking in terms of the names of these notes and where they are in that E scale, and it all starts to make some sense to you. So here's 2 ways you can play it. One is a full release, and then and then a vibrato, and the other is taking that, not releasing that tension, not releasing that little quarter tone bend that I had there, and just, or, and you can hear the difference there is I release this to an E note again and then start to slide. So here's the first way. Here's with a full release. And then A, and then back to the E. Now B, and I'm just going to go to open strings. You could send that down to the vibrato here, but you might have trouble getting back up to finish this off. So for the moment, just go, or excuse me, from the A. And you can fool around with that. I think some of you are not going to have much trouble with this. Others are. Your main trouble is going to be keeping this bass going steady. And that is the trouble that you want to overcome, because that's very important. I'm not demonstrating it here, but I've demonstrated a number of times in class how important that steady beat is. And that's really the most challenging thing. The rest, I think the techniques are a lot easier, but the techniques by themselves have to be coordinated with the bass that is very steady. So here's the other method. I'm going to bend this up and then without releasing string 1, I'm gonna move that down to slide that down to string 2 fret 5, which is an E note, which is string 1 open, same note. Now to the A, back to the E, and now the B, now the A. Okay, that should give you something to work with. Work that in with these slides that you have. You know, see, that's mixed in the slides, and you can just do that any way that you want. You can try to work in these other notes. This is a good one right here. Right there, that string 1 fret 4 is the G major, and you can work all that into this stuff too. Just have fun with it. That's the most thing. That's the greatest thing about guitar. Just having fun with all that, and come up with your own little tunes. At the end of this, not the end, maybe in a couple weeks, I'll give you a couple little tunes like Up the Lazy River that works real well with this on chords that you probably couldn't make fast enough, but if you just do it with that monotone bass, it sounds real nice. So, and you'll actually be playing a tune where you're not just playing chords that you have to sing along with, because I know a lot of you don't like the singing arts as much as you do the playing arts. So, and that's what this is intended to do, to give you a chance to start actually working out some melodies and having a lot of fun with that. So, I will see you in a week or two and give you the next little riff that you can add into your vocabulary. Enjoy your summer.